welcome to the Quarantine Files. I'm Nick Seth-Smith, and my guest today is Alex Soto of the Smart Skin Store. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you, Nick. Nice to be here.
So, Alex, tell me, what is Smart Skin shopping?
Smart skin shopping is really using common sense to determine what is most important to buy for you in this moment. Before you buy any product, first you need to know, is this a want or is this a need? If it's a necessity, you have to qualify yourself. You have to say, what problem am I having? Am I having an excess in oil? Am I super dry? What is the problem? That's where you start to find the solution. If it's a desire, if it's something that you just really want, like I want a skin firming gel because I know aging is real and I want this, then you have to prioritize your desires. Where on this list of priorities is this particular desire? From that point, you can know what's your budget, what's your timeline, and you can purchase appropriately.
Cool, thank you. That sounds a bit like buying electronics if I'm a guy, but it's kind of the girl's version, but that's really, really interesting. Now, is this just for guys, or is it just for girls, also for guys?
I reference women a lot because about 85% of my hands-on clientele are female. However, this applies to men and women the same. So men kind of have to decide. A lot of the males that I encounter are struggling with maybe eczema or dryness, or sometimes it's a specific kind of a rash of some sort.
Right.
Whatever the case, the process for men is the same like women. Is this a need or is this a desire? And then that's how you want to approach the shopping.
That makes sense. So now, what is the hardest part about shopping for skincare products?
So shopping for skincare products is not the difficult part. Actually practicing it is the hardest part because it requires discipline. But if you look at it like it's a hobby, like something that you could try at your leisure and practice over time to get good at, that's how you know that you're starting to get good at not only the discipline in the routine of skincare, but also the shopping.
So you have to practice shopping in order to get good at shopping, and then practice putting it on to get good at applying it?
I'd say you would probably first start with qualifying yourself. Like, do I want to get into skincare so that I can have a routine every night before bed? If that's the case, start with a simple cleanser. There's no need to go for a 5 or 7-step system. If you really just want to start with a single practice, it could be an investment of anywhere from, if you want to go drugstore, about 12, if you want to go quality esthetician room, to about maybe $30. So from $12 to $30 for a cleanser. That can be an initial investment into skincare that will evolve like a hobby does over time.
Sure. Now, what differentiates a $12 from a $30 product? How do you tell the difference?
The less expensive products tend to have sodium lauryl sulfates in them, or commonly known as detergents. More soaps are in the lower price point products, where you'll find more botanics and natural products in higher end. Not necessarily department store, but the more, $25, $30 range for cleansers. Those probably have some pretty significant raw ingredients that are natural. Like, you'll get a lot of oils and natural exfoliants, jojoba esters, that cost a little more to make, but they are natural. So this is what demonstrates the price difference.
And the benefit to the natural products over the sodium lauryl sulfate, what is that?
Well, when we're putting soap on our skin doesn't really like it. It's being stripped of its natural oils that protect us. And when you apply natural oils to natural oils, a natural cleansing process takes place instead of the harsh soapy detergent wash that many of us are familiar with and are just really in more recent decades getting used to the fact that oil cleans oil too. So
Got
that's
it.
the difference. Yeah.
Cool. Now that really helps me. Thank you to understand. So obviously we're in very difficult times at the moment. How has your industry changed with COVID, and has anything positive come out of it for your industry?
That's a great question, Nick. A lot has changed for my industry. I have been hands off since the mandate went into effect. So my industry is now looking a lot like this interview, actually, where I'm consulting via Zoom and actually showing clients in a mirrored fashion how to use best practices. But the thing that COVID has brought to light, I'd say, is we are also aware now of how often we are touching our face because this virus is transmissible by in that way by us perhaps touching a surface and then touching our skin and then those droplets getting into our respiratory system. I think there's a huge awareness now of how often we touch our face and how dirty our hands really are. So if there's one good thing that has come from COVID-19, I'd say it's the awareness of our skin and our cleanliness and sanitation.
Well, I guess also wearing a mask a lot of the time is going to help as well, because then you're touching the mask instead of touching the face.
It has been helping, but a lot of my clients have expressed concern of breakout in the areas the mask in, and that's because
Sure.
you have to wash your mask too. So
Which I
that's
guess you're
actually,
washing with a detergent.
yes, yes. And there's natural detergents and there's, washing by hands. And I guess sneak peek here, I'm currently creating some content in the form of videos to show brief, maybe 30-second, 60-second tips on cleanliness, sanitation, and yes, one of those will include hand washing your mask. So more
Cool.
education to come.
Well, that's a perfect
Yeah.
segue. Tell me, where can our listeners see that? Where can they find that content?
Perfect. Perfect. So the educational content will be available June 1st on www.smartskinstore.blog. That's B as in boy,
Okay, thank
LOG.
you.
Thank you.
Well, this is really cool,
Definitely.
and I'm glad that positive things are coming out of COVID-19. A friend of mine pointed out that it's the only time you can go into a bank with a mask on and not get arrested. Nothing if not interesting times. So if you had to leave our listeners with a final message, what would your recommendation be to them when it comes to skincare?
I'd recommend you cannot wash your hands enough in these times, and you definitely need to be wearing SPF every day that you're going to step foot outside the house.
Thank you, Alex. So this is Alex Soto of smartskinstore.com. Check out her products. She has an amazing product, an amazing wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure her videos will be exciting, interesting, and educational. That wraps up this episode of the Quarantine Files. This is Nick Seth-Smith, and I look forward to seeing you for the next episode when we'll interview another business owner and find out what it takes to survive and thrive during COVID-19. Take care, and thank you for watching.